Fellas, when you go out on a date with a woman, your biggest wish is that she sleeps with you by the end of the night. Her biggest wish is that you don't assault or murder her. Stop saying it goes both ways.
Just know, I know that you have no fucking argument. That's why you say, goes both ways. Because you know that I'm not wrong. You know that I'm not wrong. So this is all you have to say. That's your only retort.
All we found, wanting, left the sound, drifting, remember how.
So there's a lot of people in this world that I just refuse to trust. That includes mammies, that includes pygmies, that includes male-centered women, that includes men who say it goes both ways. When we're talking about a mass majority of one of the sexes versus a small minority of the other sex, the XX sex, and somebody says it goes both ways, whether it's a man or a woman, I know that they can't be trusted, and that is a conversation that has to end and can't be had with that person. Somebody saying it goes both ways is their way of trying to shut the conversation down and prove themselves right without any facts at all. It goes both ways. You're supposed to just say, oh yeah, it does go both ways, and end the conversation right there, I guess. When they say it goes both ways, to me, it just lets me know that they don't really want to have an honest conversation and they're gaslighting you. So that is a person you're not going to be able to get through to because they're not seeing reality. They're not looking around the world and seeing what women are going through versus what men are going through. It doesn't go both ways when it comes to domestic violence, when it comes to women. I know women do put their hands on men, but it's not even equal. The amount of times that men are putting their hands on their women and children and taking people out on this globe. I know women cheat, but I really don't think it's equal to the amount that men cheat. And I'm not even talking about just like having different partners like outside of a marriage. I'm talking about when you have promised to be faithful to one woman and in the marriage. I don't think it's comparable. I don't think anything men do on this globe is comparable to what women are doing. Are there tons of women who are out here just cutting up and being wicked? Yes. But can we say it goes both ways when it comes to just like the sheer amount and the numbers? I don't think we can. If you look at the numbers, you look up the stats, you look up all the grape kits that haven't been like tested. If you look up FGM, that's female genital mutilation in these countries. If you look up just the laws against women globally, it can't go both ways. When there are laws against you as a human because of the way you were born, because of your body, or because of your skin, it can't go both ways. It's only a one-sided thing, really, because the power imbalance is ridiculous. Just like when we had no rights as women, like before they started giving us rights to vote and work and buy homes, it couldn't have went both ways. No, it wasn't fair. The playing ground was not equal. So it can never go both ways when one group is oppressed and under the foot of the other group. So let's see why people are saying that it cannot go both ways and how it could never go both ways. And I'll be back.
Guarantee that you don't respect your wife if you say the comment, it goes both ways. I get that comment so much on my videos, especially when I'm talking about any situation about women. Men always come on and go, well, not true, it goes both ways. I promise you, for a fact, when your wife brings the problems at home, you do not listen to your wife. You always tell her, well, but what about the other way around? Well, it goes both ways. Well, you do it to me too. Well, look what you do. I can guarantee you don't give her the space. Whenever I get those comments, I'm like, yep, doesn't respect his wife, if he has one. Doesn't respect his girlfriend. Doesn't respect any woman in his family. Because if I'm talking about a serial M or a serial R, I'm sure you could figure what that means. And you're like, well, women do it too. what are you really doing right now? It doesn't go both ways. Most of the time, it does not go both ways. It goes one way.
I hate hearing a nigga say that goes both ways. No, the fuck it doesn't. That's like a real estate broker telling a real estate agent, oh, the amount of responsibility that goes with this job, that goes both ways. No, the fuck it doesn't. The person who's leading or the person who is in charge has to hold more responsibility than the person that's following.
In what world do y'all know of do men have more responsibility than women? Women are supposed to be following men, but how many women do you actually see following men and having less responsibility than men? I've never seen it. I'm 42 years old, and I have never seen a man in my life that had more responsibility than the woman that they were with. Maybe y'all have. This is just questions that we rarely think of. I haven't. I've seen men work, and I haven't seen very many women stay home and not have to work at all. But even the ones who stay home, I would say they have more responsibility. I feel like just because men are working and paying bills and providing, I don't feel like that means they have more responsibility. Other than that, everything else falls on the woman. Everything.
That can be seen in any aspect of life. The head, the reason they are the head is because they are responsible for more. The real estate broker versus the real estate agent, or the doctor versus the doctor's assistant, or the attorney versus the paralegal. No, that shit does not go both ways. Not if you're trying to be in a healthy connection where two people cannot be the end all be all. Two people cannot have the last say because sometimes y'all not gonna agree. So we're talking about in a feminine and a masculine pairing relationship. It does not go both ways, y'all. That's y'all's problem. That is y'all's fucking problem. You want to be equal, so it's not equal. What you give a woman is not equal to what a woman can give a man. This is evidence and can be seen in our biology. The contribution to forming a life is not equal, sir. A male gives what? Sperm for life to happen. A woman gives what? Her entire fucking body for 9 months. You collected some sperm and gave that out in a few seconds. She now has to take that and grow that sperm in her body for 9 months in order to create life. The contribution is not equal, and so shit does not go both ways. This twisted mindset that y'all have where you really feel like that, and so you're becoming feminine.
I don't think they're becoming feminine. I think if they were becoming feminine, more women would want to be around them and be attracted to them. The feminine is not destructive. The feminine is not take. The feminine gives. The feminine has empathy. The feminine works. Feminine attributes are not a negative.
And you're repelling the women. They don't want you because you're trying to receive like women because you think it goes both ways. That shit is disgusting. Energetically, we can sense that, and it's disgusting. And the women you'll attract are not the women that you really want because you're vibrating outside of the natural order of the feminine and the masculine energetic exchange, sir. Rishda Victoria Scott, stop loud. I'm checking
First
out.
of all, these men come into women's spaces online in videos for women by women, and then they have to make it about themselves. They'll be like, well, this goes both ways, which half the time they're wrong. It doesn't go both ways. And the other half of the time it's like, yeah, buddy, we know. Who are you? And I can understand as an emotionally intelligent and empathetic person why you might not like that this content exists, why you might not like women hating on men all the time. Which, by the way, there's a huge difference between hating on men and simply stating the truth of what men do. Women don't have the option to go out into the world and just skip you in their algorithms. Women find their spaces online and you still have to come. You still have to be there. Every woman has that story where she was just minding her own business and a man came up to her in person, in real life, in a parking garage. It's always a man who's like 20 or 30 years older than you and you're always really young. And it's not just annoying, it's scary. You want us to ignore that. You want us to ignore our very real world, real life experiences with men. You can't handle women existing and speaking online about their own experiences. And you always want to comment, it's not all men, it's not all men. But what about all of those women? What about all of those women? Those statistics are real and you know it. But you don't care about all those women who have been hurt and worse by men. And you also don't care about all the men that women have hurt, because if you did, you would bring it up on its own without a woman talking about a man being the catalyst. So at the end of the day, don't expect women to believe that you really care about either issue.
I've been doing this content for a little while now, and I've done several videos of what she's talking about. Men, old men coming up to very young women, sometimes in their teens, just harassing them in public, following them in public. I don't see any videos of women doing that. If y'all see any videos of women harassing men in public, please send them to me and I will do a complete video on this. But I can make tons of videos of different men harassing different girls and women all around the world, no matter what the continent.
Here.
Really do me Instagram?
No. No. I want to show y'all something. This is why you don't walk. Listen, look at it. This man has been following me. Look, watch. I'm getting called Pocahontas right now.
I'm telling you. Hey, Tiffany, you like that.
I'm Tiffany too. I'm Tiffany.
You have to talk. What's your idea?
But I don't talk to people.
Okay. What? You don't talk to people?
I'm telling you my name and you just grabbed me. Please, like, I don't feel comfortable standing near you. No, you just, yeah, because I was talking to you doesn't mean you can come up behind me and grab me.
No. So it's my name? No. My own name? No.
The fuck be wrong with you niggas?
I'm not trying to do no violence tonight, baby. I think you had enough of that. You tripping. What y'all gonna do? I can do violence, you know, like really mental, but like double trouble. Y'all so sexy.
I've got a husband. I don't need you to follow me. Yeah, I don't need you to follow me.
What's up? What's up, boo-boo?
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, so since the men think that they are so smart, I really would like you guys to explain to me how you would repopulate the earth if every single woman on the planet just disappeared. You guys have access to frozen eggs, you guys have access to frozen embryos, but not one single woman exists. Please explain to me how you would turn those into people. I'll wait. I can't hear you. Please tell me how you would turn those into people.
Why are men under women's posts constantly saying it goes both ways? Look, if you want to avoid that, all you have to do is complain about something that women don't do as well. Don't give them a reason. But the problem is y'all so busy trying to paint a one-sided picture and you want to invalidate the experiences of men, but you complain to us like we supposed to give a fuck about your experiences. It don't work like that. That's what should be weird to you. Know what should be weird is that you can ask this question without even thinking about it for a second. But the only reason they do this, like I said, is because they can do the same wrong as a man, but they don't think it's wrong when they do it because they tell themselves shit to feel better about why they doing it. It's not our fault that we'll never forget that y'all do the same shit. Because I'll tell you, I never complained or went out of my way to talk bad about women or turn to a bad person. But when they take it so far as to lie and act like they don't do no wrong, well, now I got something to say, and I still don't even say it with disrespect. But they hate the truth so much because they trying to paint a picture. They don't want to hear nothing you gotta say, and that's the real reason you upset. Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
The type of man to avoid is the both ways type of man. And no, not in the way that you might think. Now, what do I mean? They're the men that always reach for the same rebuttal whenever a woman talks about what she deserves in love. They're the it works both ways men. Because of course, healthy love does work both ways. The issue is when a man feels the need to say it. You'll notice it the moment a woman expresses her needs, her standards, or what she deserves in love. Instead of listening or leading or rising to meet it, his reflex is to level the conversation, to negotiate, to remind you that effort, softness, and sacrifice should be equal. Men who are truly in their masculine don't need to announce balance. They just embody it. They don't debate provision, protection, or presence. They just offer it willingly. When a man responds with "it works both ways," it's usually not about fairness, it's about resistance. It's a subtle refusal to lead, a way of staying comfortable whilst trying to lower your expectations. And this is why this type of man is exactly the type of man not to build with.
You mean to tell me we're looking at solid proof of men body shaming women, and instead of saying something against that, you did a women too kind of thing? Oh my God. You're saying it goes both ways, but you're not acknowledging how what you just seen was wrong. Are you one of those guys that does that to women? I really want to know, like, I'm really curious, because what other reason would you have to say something like this? It's like we're playing hot potato with accountability. Yeah, the hot potato was uncomfortable. It's not going to feel good in your hands, but just give it a little second to cool down. And that's how I feel it is with taking accountability. Sometimes you're going to have to, dismantle some things that are going to make you uncomfortable, that are not going to make you feel so good inside because you're growing out of your old mindset, but it's necessary. You yourself have a platform. Talk about it. To be quite honest, I don't think you care about men being body shamed. I think you just don't like knowing that there are other men under the hot seat for disrespecting women. And I don't know why, because if you aren't one of those men, I wasn't talking about you, and I made that abundantly clear. Instead of acknowledging and addressing the issue at hand, you completely deflected. Just unfollow me.
Men always comment, "It goes both ways. It goes both ways." No, it doesn't, and you know that. Men who comment, "It goes both ways," give, it's always so they have the chance to take more than they give and more than they deserve. A man who only seeks to receive will never understand what a woman gives.
Commenting and telling me it goes both ways, it absolutely does not. You may be annoyed by women. You may not enjoy modern women's takes. You may be frustrated by the way we handle things. You are not in fear of us. You do not walk to your car with keys between your fingers. You do not worry about saying no to the wrong man or being unalived by one of us, okay? You do not sit in the gynecologist's office and worry about whether or not your rights will be taken away. It's not the same thing. It's not the same experience. It does not go both ways. Stop commenting that it does. Oh, women are mean to you? Get over it.
Have you ever noticed that people say it goes both ways about things that almost never go both ways? It's almost like you can use that phrase to find things that don't go both ways. And when a person who says it goes both ways, and you think about the thing that they're saying goes both ways and then realize, no, it actually doesn't. They're just saying that because they really, really need to believe that it does. That's all. It's 3:00 and I'm still in bed.
The main thing that I hate about men is that a man will be like, he just wants something casual. And I'm like, good, great. I have avoidant attachment issues. I love casual. So it's like, we're doing things casually. And then they try to like tell me about their problems. And I'm like, no, I don't want to hear about that. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, we're casual. Casual doesn't do like free therapy. Or like, I won't reply to their texts for like days because I'm not horny. And they're like, why don't you reply to my text? I'm like, because we're casual. Like, don't you know what that word means? Like, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of you guys just want somebody that wants to be your girlfriend. So they put a lot of effort into you, but you don't actually want to be their boyfriend. So you get to just be like, she loves me. And like, unfortunately, that's not me. I'm not going to do that. I never give a fuck. Still don't. Like, yeah, why do y'all do that? That's weird.
So I want y'all to look at these next videos, and I want y'all to get down in the comment if y'all could think of any way possible that these stories can go both ways. Let me know any way possible in a patriarchy that these stories could possibly go both ways.
Medical university that secretly made entrance exams harder for women has been ordered to compensate 13 women. Juntendo University said in 2018 that it had raised the bar for women to narrow the gap with male students because women are better at communicating and thus perform better in the interview stage of the application. Tokyo Medical University, another school, also admitted in 2018 that it had lowered the scores of women applicants because it didn't want too many women doctors. The school had believed that women doctors would drop out of the profession after getting married or having children, and that admitting more male doctors would solve a shortage of doctors. On Thursday, May 19th, a court ruled that Juntendo University must pay 13 women 8 million yen, or about $62,500 US in total damages. Follow for more news from around the world.
Go back to
to look specifically at the backlog of rape kits in South Carolina, and it turns out that there are like 6 pillars of reform, and South Carolina's only done one of them, and apparently the one isn't even done well.
States are using policies from the 17th and 18th centuries to punish women for stillbirth and miscarriage. Some of the strongest anti-abortion lawmakers in the country have created carve-outs to ensure that pregnant people won't be criminalized for their abortions, let alone for pregnancy loss. But police and prosecutors are still finding ways to do it anyway. I'm senior reporter Alana Vagianos. For my latest story for HuffPost, I highlighted women across the country who had experienced stillbirth and miscarriage, only for police to show up and place them under arrest. Women are somehow becoming the villains in their own tragedies. Their crimes included concealing a birth or not telling people they were pregnant, and abuse of a corpse. Concealment of birth statutes are based on the archaic idea that a woman who had sex outside of marriage was immoral and more likely to kill a newborn. These laws date back to 1696. Over 300 years later, 15 states still have laws that criminalize someone for concealing their pregnancy loss. Common pregnancy choices are being recast as something nefarious and used to determine arrest and prosecution, with some women spending years in prison.
Keep telling yourself they're pro-life. We warned you this would happen. We said this would happen. Emergency rooms refused to treat pregnant women, leaving one to miscarry in a lobby restroom. One woman was miscarrying and turned away by the front desk staff and had to miscarry in a bathroom at a hospital. Another woman found out that her fetus no longer had a heartbeat the day after she was turned away by security at a Florida hospital. And in North Carolina, a woman gave birth in her car after an emergency room couldn't offer her an ultrasound, and the baby later died. We have stories like this out of Texas. At Sacred Heart Emergency Center in Houston, front desk staff refused to check in one woman after her husband asked for help delivering her baby in September. She miscarried in a restroom toilet in the emergency room lobby while her husband called 911 for help. She's bleeding a lot and had a miscarriage, the husband told first responders in his call. I'm here at the hospital, but they told us they can't help us because we're not their client. These never should be happening. These should be covered under EMTALA, the federal law that says emergency rooms need to stabilize a patient or transfer them somewhere else once stable if they can't provide the care in that hospital. And right now, the law that should have protected all of those cases and so many more is with the Supreme Court because Idaho feels like they shouldn't have to save women's lives. In fact, they go as far to say Idaho's law does not allow abortions even if the mother's health is at risk. But the state's attorney general has argued that its abortion ban is consistent with federal law because in the emergency room, they're protecting the unborn child. A law professor said, pregnant patients have become radioactive in emergency departments in states with extreme abortion restrictions because in Idaho, in Texas, in any of these forced birth states, once you are pregnant, you no longer fucking matter. They only care about the potential of the unborn. And if you're dying on their table, they're fighting, suing, arguing, taking it to the Supreme Court that they don't have to save you. But by all means.
They're coming for your wife's right to vote. My wife just brought something to my attention that should make every family in this country sick. Everyone is talking about the SAVE Act like it's just simpler voter security. It's not. It's a hidden pincer on the American family. The bill requires a birth certificate to prove citizenship. Sounds fine, right? Except 8 out of 10 women change their name when they marry. That means that their voter ID, the one that they use for everything, doesn't match their birth certificate. We're talking about over 60 million American women who would have to jump through administrative hoops, digging up marriage license and divorce decrees just to prove who they are, and it shows. We were told that the real ID was the final word on security. We already did the work. We already jumped through those hoops. Now they're just moving the goalpost again. Why, you may ask? Because women have outvoted men in every election since 1980. This isn't about security, it's about administrative suppression. They want to make the process so complicated and so frustrating that most active voters in this country just stay home. It's truly a Trojan horse for the NDA and a pincer move on your household. Stop looking at the title of the bill and start looking at the trap. Are you awake?
This is 7-year-old Ren. This is 7-month-old August. This is the mother, Raven's ex-husband, Dustin. And all 3 of these people were brutally unalived by Raven's current husband. According to Raven's mother, she was married to a man named Ryan Egan, and she was in a DV relationship with him. She finally had the courage to get out of the relationship and leave so her ex-husband Dustin, which is the father to Ren, came over to help her pack and leave the situation. Raven's husband, the father of 7-month-old August, drove to the street the house was on and parked down the street and snuck into the house so that Raven did not know that he was there. The grandmother states that he immediately SHOT'd Dustin and he was unalived instantly. He then SHOT'd Ren 3 times, but he did not pass away instantly. He was actually rushed to the hospital where he passed away the next day. Then he went in and SHOT'd his 7-month-old baby in the head, unaliving him immediately. The grandmother states that Raven begged him to take her life as well, but he knew the heartbreak that she would have to experience, so he spared her life and SHOT'd himself, unaliving Dustin, Ren, August, and himself, leaving the mother to this unimaginable reality she's now having to live in. There is a GoFundMe for this mother that I will link in my story. Keep this poor woman in your prayers because I cannot imagine the heartache she is going through.
Hey, Tony.
Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Tony.
Hey,
Tony, look, you missed it.
You missed the
You
baby.
missed it. Tony.
Oh, God, you ain't get me. Okay. What's on now? Okay, yeah, we're gonna play. A year? I thought we were. Oh.
Let's see. Let's see. Look at the baby.
Afghanistan's Taliban government imposed another law on women. This new rule forbids women from speaking in public spaces. Even among themselves, they must keep their voices low. Women cannot leave their homes alone. They need a male escort. When outside, they must cover their entire body, wearing a headscarf and a cloak, with no hair visible. Female news anchors are even required to wear masks and headscarves on TV. Afghanistan also bans women from studying beyond primary school and forbids them from working in non-governmental organizations. If they fall ill, they cannot see male doctors, but they are also not allowed to work as doctors. This leaves them with no way to get medical care. Women also face strict limits on using public restrooms, and windows in their homes must not be transparent, hiding them from the outside world.
If you made it to the end of this video, then you already know this is a conversation people need to be having. So don't leave quietly. Like this video, comment your thoughts below, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Every interaction pushes this conversation further into the algorithm and helps this channel grow.